Most people think they have a budget until life punches them in the face. Today I'm walking you through how to build a bulletproof budget, whether you're single or raising a whole family, off $5,000 a month. Let's get to it. Peace, family. It's your boy Treetop Chris checking in, and welcome to Treetop Finance, where we talk about everything finance, as well as wealth building strategies and credit funding. Today, it's all about taking control of your money, not just saving it, but telling it exactly where to go before life snatches it from you. So here's the game. Today, we're talking about the 50, 30, and 20 rule, and the 70, 20, and 10 rule. All right, so with the 50, 30, and 20 rule, it's 50% needs, 30% wants, and 20% to savings and debts.
With the 70, 20, and 10 rule,
it's 70% needs, 20% wants, and 10% savings and debts. Now keep in mind, if your lifestyle is a little tight or you raising kids, 70, 20, and 10 might feel way more realistic. But if you're single with no kids, 50, 30, and 20 should be light work. Now let's say you're single, no kids, bringing home $5,000 a month after taxes. Remember, everything that we're doing today is going to be after taxes. If you have kids, again, we can work that out. But for right now, we're talking about no kids, $5,000 a month, bring home after taxes. That's net income, folks. All right, so we got to keep in mind, right? 50% needs, 30% wants, 20% savings. Now, what are some needs that we might need, right? Let's think about that for a second. Rent. How many of y'all paying rent? Mortgage, rent, doesn't matter. Where we gonna put that? Needs, let's say $1,500 for rent. $1,500 for rent, that's not bad. We're gonna say utilities, right? Gas and electric might not be this much, but let's use it. Car note and gas. We got the car note and gas, that's definitely a need we gotta get from point A to point B, right? We got groceries. I know some of y'all eat a lot more than others, but we're gonna keep it simple, say about $300 a month for groceries. Insurance, we need insurance. We're gonna pay about $100 for insurance. This combined is gonna be about $2,500. All right, so let's talk about some wants that we might have, right? The gym, some of y'all go to the gym. I need to go to the gym. I've been in there, but I've been slacking because I'm working hard for y'all, you feel me? We're gonna say the gym, probably $60 a month. Let's go to eating out. I know a lot of y'all eat out. You know that I eat out, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, $300 a month for eating out, that's not bad, right? Now you have to budget for eating out, y'all. Do not be one of those people who just say, oh, I'm just gonna go out here and there in the month. I don't know how much I spend on food. Groceries is a need, right? But eating out is a want. So those two right there, that's $600. If you don't account for this $300, when it comes at the end of the month, you don't know where your money went. Remember, we budgeting, right? If you're not budgeting, you childish. Keep it a buck. All right, so clothes. Maybe buy a little clothes here and there. Some of y'all rocking the Lululemon. Y'all got your Hell Star on. You know, whatever, man. Your Ilo. I don't know what you're wearing. I wear Treetop stuff. But anyway, $200 for clothes. All right, so we're gonna do a little bit something different. We're gonna do a travel fund, right? You save up a couple dollars every month to go on a little travel, spend a little weekend. You don't have to spend the money in that month, but you wanna spend a little bit of money towards going to a trip later if you're not going on a trip that month. We're gonna save about $200 for travel. Streaming and entertainment. I know that some of y'all got your HBO, you got your Stars, you got your Showtime, you got your Netflix, you got Paramount, whatever y'all going. Some of y'all paying for Tubi. I don't even think you gotta pay for Tubi, but some of y'all paying for these subscriptions, and right, it could be on your phone, it could be on TV, it could be on the internet. Subscriptions in general, we're gonna say about $100 for a subscription. Yes, we counting subscriptions, we counting everything. No money out that's unaccounted for, you feel what I'm saying? All right, so we're gonna do just fun and miscellaneous, right? Just you need a miscellaneous fund, right? A miscellaneous fund, F-U-N-D, right? This is money you just spend on anything. You have to put money to the side for you to blow. If you don't do that, it's gonna come out of your budget for other things like needs, right? So we're gonna put $640 to ourselves to blow on whatever. Last thing we're gonna do, savings and debt, right? Your debt payment shouldn't be more than your needs and your wants. We're gonna do emergency fund. Remember, you gotta have at least 3 to 6 months worth of emergency fund. Them emergency funds will probably cover your monthly needs payments. Probably not gonna cover that whole $2,500, but if you need to put something towards the $2,500, at least we saving $500 to put towards it. So that's what we're gonna use today in our example, $500 for emergencies. credit card pay down. So remember, we got some debts. Hopefully our debts aren't more than the number we set today, but today in this example, we're gonna use $300 a month for debt payments. And the last thing we're gonna do is investments. Remember, you always have to save for investment because compounding is the #1 way to wealth. For right now, we're gonna use $200 towards investments. Grand total, $1,000. But say you don't have a car note, or say your rent is higher or lower. Whenever you have extra money, you want to throw it into savings and debts until you have no consumer debt and you have 6 months worth of savings. Remember, no consumer debt, 6 months in savings. All right, so now let's run it back with a family of 4. Same $5,000 income, but different needs. Remember, we're using the 70, 20, and 10 rule this time. All right, so when you got kids, you might be renting, you might have a mortgage. So in this particular example, we're going to say mortgage/rent. Groceries. $700. $700 seems doable. I know right now it could be a little bit closer to 1,000 or over 1,000 depending on how much y'all eat. I like to eat, you know what I'm saying? Car payment. Utilities. Now remember, these are rough. You can play with the numbers as much as you want, but remember just to keep it 70, 20, and 10. Insurance. And childcare. I know childcare is not gonna cost $100, but somebody else could be helping you. We just gonna put it on there because some of y'all might be watching your own kids, but remember, this is a rough estimate. I messed up right here. I put the total right here at the top. My bad, folks, but I fixed it. Grand total is gonna be $3,500. $3,500 gonna get $3,500. Now let's move into wants, right? What are some wants that we have? Again, kids' activities, we're gonna put those first. Family nights, you gotta put some family nights in there. You gotta spend some time with the family, folks. You can't be working all the time trying to get away from them. Let's put a couple dollars to the side for family nights. Netflix, Disney, we just gonna throw some subscriptions in there. Remember, same concept. Remember, rough estimates, folks. The last thing we're gonna do is fund money. As you can see, these are not really that large. I wanna put a lot of money into your fund money, right? The money that you spend on miscellaneous. Remember, just like we had in the 50, 30, and 20, we're gonna have in the 70, 20, and 10, except it's gonna be the same fund money, same concept, just to be able to splurge on anything, right? This fund money could be the rest of the subscriptions that we're talking about. If these are too low, you could put it in here, right? Grand total, $1,000. We still got to do savings and debts. We're going to do an emergency fund and we're going to do debt payoff. The same thing that we did before in the previous example, but we're going to allocate a little bit differently, right? $250 for emergency funds, $250 for debt payoffs. Grand total, $500. You see the difference? More of your money is tied up in needs when you got a family, but you still got to save something. You know what I'm saying? You got to save something. Save a little bit for the emergency fund. Now, granted, life happens. Here's where people mess up, right? They get a raise and they immediately upgrade their lifestyle instead of upgrading their budget. That's what we call lifestyle creep. And this is what kills a lot of people's budgets as they grow in their lifestyle, right? So if you got a raise, you increase savings first. Increase your savings first when you get a raise. Don't put all that money into the miscellaneous fund like we talked about before. Remember, we put that money to the side for a reason. If you got debt, throw the extra money at it before increasing your lifestyle spending, right? If your expenses go up, in the in-between time, cut or pause some of those wants temporarily. Remember, we talked about those wants. Budgets are flexible, but your discipline gotta stay locked in, folks. You gotta stay locked in on the discipline. That's why we put money to the side for ourselves ahead of time, just in case money goes up or down in life. Remember, emergency funds, stocks and bonds. So what do you do if your bills exceed your income? All right, let's keep it all the way real. What if you run the numbers and your needs alone already over $5,000? Or maybe all of your bills don't even leave room to save it all. Here's what you gotta do. You prioritize shelter, rent, mortgage, utilities, keep the lights on, man. Food, groceries, not DoorDash. If you're doing bad, you can't be with DoorDash, you feel me? Transportation, you gotta get to work so you can make the bread. These are the things you prioritize. Everything else gotta wait or get cut back. Some of y'all don't like to do this, but this is something that I've done in the past to get myself out of bad situations. You call the credit card company up on the phone, you see if they got hardship programs, right? You do utility payment plans, student loans, they got income-based options so you can help get those payments down. Call insurance companies, shop around. Call cable phone companies, downgrade. You could get those things down so you can have a lower amount to pay every month. These are different type of things that you can do. But this ain't forever, right? It's only for right now. And that's only if you're in a bad predicament. Cut all non-essentials. Find the cash leaks. Now, if you want to increase your income really quickly, we don't really talk about too much of that on the channel, but you could do Uber, DoorDash, sell stuff, freelancing, babysitting, weekend gigs. Your income problem ain't permanent. So if your hustle is permanent, you one of those type of people that can always hustle, you can do these things in the in-between time to help bring you some more cash. Remember, the situation you in is never permanent, y'all. You can get out of anything. I believe in you. I'm praying for you if you're in those bad times, because I know I've been in those bad times too. So say you want to do like an extra $500 a month or something like that. You could build a side hustle or cut expenses to cover that $500 gap. So if you spending a lot more money on miscellaneous, but you know your bills is too high, bring that miscellaneous fund down. Bring the fund money down. Remember, temporarily until you get to the point where you can handle all your bills and your money stabilizes. Listen, family, this is the season to manage your money you got. Not stress about money you don't have yet. Drop a comment if you ever had to live that bare bones budget life, because trust me, we've all been there. And if this video gave you any gain, you already know, like, comment, and subscribe. Share this with somebody who's ready to fix their budget and fix their future for the most part. And always remember, keep planting those seeds, keep building, and protect the trees at all costs. Because if you grow, we grow. Your boy Tree Top Chris checking in. Peace and love.